Hi guys, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs. How are you all? Well, today I'm going to be doing a video on how to make the wig for the Mary Dookie, I think it's pronounced Dookie, I'm never sure, Duke doll. Okay, now this is part of the Nusse-dukke Lane group on Facebook, and Tina Christensen is the founder of that group, and she is the creator and designer of all of these dolls. And it is really imperative that you join this group if you're going to be doing these, because all the files are there in this group's file section, and you can see the patterns on how to make these dolls. Now, I've been given permission by Tina and the group of admins to make a little video just to show how to do this little wig, because some people are a little confused with how we do this. So this is the little wig, and I've got it pinned on the top of the head here. As you can see, we're not making the whole doll, okay? We're just doing this little wig. All right, now something I should mention, a lot of the Europeans make these dolls using a smaller hook, the 2.75, and they use a sort of cotton yarn, I believe, and a lot of us over here in America and England and whatnot, we tend to use a larger hook. Now this one I did with a 5 or an H, I think, yeah, a G. No, it was an H. I think it was an H. There we go. Pick a hook, any hook. So depending on the size of hook that you use results in the size of the head or the body or your work in general. I today for this video I'm going to use a larger hook, okay? So we will have hair sort of this size versus this size, which was a 2.75, and this was a 5. As you can see, it's very different in size, but I'm doing it this way so that you can clearly and easily see the stitches. I don't normally work with a smaller hook. I use the worsted weight or the medium 4 yarn, and so I tend to use a 4 hook. So we will use a 4 hook. I'm going to use yellow yarn because I think with my black drop it will show clearer. Black is sometimes quite hard to actually work with, and brown is very close to black, and I thought yellow might be easier. So as I said, we're just doing the wig just to help a few people, and please remember, without Tina's permission, you cannot make videos or share these patterns or anything. You can share in the group, in the Facebook group, but that's it, okay? That includes private messages, everything. This is her copywritten design, and you have to have her permission, otherwise you're breaching that copyright. So let's get started. You start with a magic ring of 6. Now there's a variety of different ways you can do a magic ring. I'm not going to go into the different ways. I'm going to do it my way. The way I tend to do it, I fold the yarn over my little finger. I wrap the yarn twice around my fingers, then over my pointing finger, my index finger. So it's sort of like this. I use the hook of my choice. I go through the 2 on my 2 middle fingers, through these. I pull my yarn through, over, and that's 1, and then I just keep doing this. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Please do it do the magic ring whichever way you feel comfortable, okay? I pull this little piece of yarn between here, and then I have the 2 loops. You pull 1 and it makes this little loop, the other loop goes smaller, and then you pull the tail and it tightens that little ring up, okay? You have 6 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 on your hook. We are going to put 2 single crochets in each of these stitches so that we end up with 12 stitches in total. So here's our first one. 1 single crochet. I'm going to put a stitch marker on this particular spot so I always know. Some people put the stitch marker at the beginning, some people put it at the end. I tend to like putting mine at the beginning. Back through that same stitch for our increase, and then in each stitch we do 2 single crochets. You will have 12 stitches. Okay, so we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12 is on my hook. Now what we're going to do is a single crochet followed by an increase, and that will leave us with 18 stitches in total. We're going to do that 6 times, okay? So you go through your first stitch, just single crochet, move your stitch marker, and then we do an increase in the next stitch. So 1 and 2, a single crochet and an increase. Single crochet and an increase. I have to say I don't particularly like this yarn. It's acrylic and it's made by Lion's brand and it's not particularly soft. But it's good for this sort of thing because we can just use it as an exercise. Oops. Single crochet and finish on an increase. Like so. Alright, now this is where the fun starts, okay? Now, before we do that, you can, if you're clever, you can have looped this in on your first couple of rounds so that you've got it hidden. You can take a needle and you can just weave it in so it's hidden, but this little bit we're going to get rid of, trim that down nicely. So what we're going to do, we start by doing a single crochet. All right, single crochet, take your stitch marker off. Now we have to do 45 chains. Okay, now when we're working our way back down the chain, we're actually going to work in the first 15 stitches, not the first when we're starting at this end. Okay, so when we get to 30, all right, we're going to put our stitch marker back in. So let's chain 45. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, I need more yarn, 27, 28, 29 and 30. I'm going to put my stitch marker right here, okay? Oh, if I could, there we go, 30. So that was 30. We have 15 more. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, oh, message, 41, 42, 43, 44 and 45. Now I promise you I'm not going to go through and do every single one of these. We need to do 8 of these in total. I'm not going to do 8 of them with you. You'll be bored silly with my voice. Now we're going to go 2 stitches, so 1, 2 stitches from your hook. Okay, we're going to put your hook through that and we're doing 3 single crochets in this stitch. So 1, go back into that same stitch, 2 and 3. Okay, we're doing 3 single crochets in each of these stitches until we get to our stitch marker. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. My cat is pushing everything out of the way so she can sit down. 1, oh, that was 2. See how it's starting to curl? 2 and 3 into the next one. 1, 2 and 3. And so you're getting this little spiral look, which is really rather nice. Can you hear the thunder behind me? It's not behind me, it's all around me, isn't it? But yeah, the window's behind me, and we're having a bit of a thunderstorm. Oh, just started. So 3 stitches in each of these 3 single crochets in each stitch. So that's 15 stitches in total with 3 single crochets in them. And you get this chunky looking curl happening, which is really nice. Two, 3, and then where our stitch marker is right there, so we can take that off. Alright, now in each of these stitches all the way back up to the head, we're just doing 1 single crochet. Okay, so 1 single crochet in each of these as we work our way back to the base for the bit for the head. So the wig base. And so these will not have a curl. They're just like this. If you suddenly see a paw up here, I'm very sorry. She's busy having a scratch at the moment. You've got an itchy chin there, darling. Alright, all the way back. And I am sorry, I'm a slow crocheter. When we get to the base, we will join into the main head again, the next stitch, with a slip stitch. Okay, so this is our last stitch here. Okay, so the next stitch, this is the stitch that we've actually been working in. This is our next stitch. We're going to go into the next stitch and we'll do a slip stitch. Okay, and then we start again. Here's our next stitch. We're going to go in there and do a single crochet. And we'll chain 45. And remember, put your stitch marker on number 30. Okay, now I'm not going to do this with you all the way round, okay, but this is how you do it. Hopefully, well, I'll finish this next one. We'll go through again how to do the slip stitch in and start the next one, and then when we've got 8 we'll meet back up. So I've done my 45 stitches. I have my stitch marker in number 30, okay, and now what we're going to do again, second chain from the hook, so 1 and 2, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, that's all in the same stitch. Move to your next stitch and you're doing 3 in here, 1, 2, 3. You're going to do 3 stitches in all of them until you get to your stitch marker, and then single crochets in all of these. I'll meet you back when we get to this stage, when we've done our single crochets all the way back, okay? So I did my 3 single crochets in each stitch for the first 15, and then a single crochet in each stitch all the way back down, and now we're joining them up. You go to your next stitch and you do a slip stitch, and then in your next stitch you do your single crochet and 45 chains. We're going to have a total of 8 of these, okay? We've got 2, we need to do 6 more. I will meet you back when we've done our 6 more. See you in a minute. So I've just done my last single crochet. In my next stitch here, I'm going to do a slip stitch and we're going to tie off. Now I'm going to leave a bit of a tail, okay, because we need to be able to sew the hair onto the head. Oh, I'm all tangled up. Hang on a second. There we go. So I'm going to leave a bit of a tail and we'll snip this so that we have the ability to stitch this onto the head. I'm going to just pop this through here, and this side we will leave, okay. Pull that nice and tight. There we go. Now this little one we're going to weave in and get rid of so that we don't have that interfering, and you can just go through some of these little inside loops. This is going to be on the inside of the head anyway, so it's not like you're going to see it. You just don't want this tail to be all over the place. So I'm just going to weave it in. Make sure I don't push through to the other side. There we go, that'll do. And again, I'm going to pull that just a little bit so that when I snip it and stretch it back out, it's hidden inside. So this is the little side that we're going to use to actually sew that to the head. Now I have not made a head because that's not what I need to do for this particular video, but if I take the hair off this one, and it is a smaller head, I made this head with a smaller hook, but basically all you're doing is lining up where the magic rings are, like so, and you've got sort of like this little area here that's not as you've got sort of like a little gap, okay, just here, and you would just stitch this on to the little head. That's how we do the hair. I hope that's shed a little bit of light, and I look forward to seeing how yours turn out. Take care everybody. Bye bye.